What's going on, everyone? Daniel here, and it's time to review Halt and Catch Fire Season 3, Episode 5, titled Yerba Buena. Spoiler review. Make sure you have seen the episode. It should take me about 2 minutes to recap it, give you the pros, cons, and final score. Thanks so much for joining me. So, starting off this week's Halt and Catch Fire, the mutiny workers are actually doing something, man. They're actually working. Cameron is having a few problems going on. Joe and Ryan are making this web, not like a web designer or anything, but they're making this idea on this board, and they have like rubber bands or yarn and everything, and they have they're geniuses, I guess you could say, man. They're geniuses, and they do genius things that our minds cannot comprehend. So they're doing that. There's this guy at the door, and Ryan ends up leaving. He says, like, leave, and the guy ends up coming in. Bosworth and Cameron are in Dallas. They make it back to Texas, man. I'm from Texas, and I live in Texas, so go Texas. I really don't go for any sports team. Don't hate the sports team. I don't hate the sports team. I just don't do sports. I don't do sports, you know. Anyway, Bosworth ends up seeing his grandson. He's a very nice granddad, or grandpa, I guess I should say, grandpapa. Joe is hugging this guy, and Ryan ends up seeing, obviously, it's kind of obvious that this is Joe's partner, Joe's boyfriend, because, of course, in Season 1, Joe's bi, so he's for girls and he's for guys, and I believe he kissed a guy in Season 1, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan doesn't take his coffee black. I just wanted to write that down. Ryan doesn't take his coffee black. He likes cream and a lot of sugar, a lot of it. And this is the thing, Joe is so nice, man. Joe is like, shut off the computer. You take your coffee black, I take it with a lot of sugar and cream. Okay. And then he ends up making, okay now, you settle down, okay? Not right now. So yeah, I just wanted to write that down because I thought it sounded funny. Gordon and Donna are getting a little saucy. They're getting a little tansy. They were going to go camping. Don't know why. But anyway, they were going to go camping and everything. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's be here. You go ahead and get in the kitchen and make me some food while I'm kidding. That would have been bad. That would have been bad, man. That would have been bad if he would have said that. But Donna's just a fantasy. That's just a dream life, man. She's so awesome. Anyway, so yeah, they have sex. Long story short, they have sex. And they talk about camp talk, and she's like, I don't really like when we went to the camp and everything, you know. And he's like, and he gets hurt by it because she thought that they liked going to camp. But she was lying the whole time. Every time they went to camp, she actually didn't like doing it. So it kind of hurts Gordon because he's emotional. Yeah, we could go with that. Joe's very nice again. Bosworth built the crib for his grandson, or whatever you call a grandpa and a son's son. That, and the dad ends up coming, and the son of Bosworth, and he's like, you built the crib? I wanted to build the crib and everything. Like, we were supposed to do that, not just you. Bosworth, they get into like a little fight. We don't get to see all of it. Cameron is on the roof, I guess, of her parents' building, because she has a flask on the rooftop and a brick. That's like me putting vodka in a flask, digging it in the ground 6 feet under. We go on the time machine. I go 5,000 years forward. I go back to the exact spot. I 5,000 years later, I get my flask, I dig it up, and I drink it. That's what it was. Cameron and Bosworth end up having a fight. The motorcycle she came to get ends up getting bought at the exact moment she's there, by the way. I thought that was kind of funny. But the motorcycle ends up getting bought, so she ended up botching that one. Joe is crying. This is a very moment where we see him become a human, man. Like, we're not seeing Joe, you know, the Steve Jobs sort of man Joe. We're seeing Joe the human. We're seeing the person under the mask, the person behind the mask of Joe McMillan. And Gordon is in this mood and everything. He's not really nice to Donna anymore. Bosworth left Cameron in Texas. He ends up just leaving her, going back to California. She's staying with her ex-boyfriend. I forgot his name. I think his name was Tom. He was in Season 2. they don't make it, for a character coming back from season 2 to season 3 in a small part, they don't really make it a big deal. Joe ends up finding out he's not HIV positive, or that's how it came off, because he was scared that he was HIV positive, and then he ends up smiling outside and everything, and kind of like a sigh of relief. At the end, Donna and Cameron are arguing, and in the end we see Cameron with a ring when she's in her room that she sleeps in Gordon's house. Now on to the pros and cons. First off, as I always say, Lee Pace, who plays Joel McMillan, is fantastic. His story arc this episode was really well done, and his acting, just again, finally seeing Joe for who he really is, the man behind the mask, the feelings, actually showing feelings. And the cinematography too, the way that this show is filmed, the lighting, him outside, his smile, it was just all perfect. And in a way, every time I saw Joe, the lighting, he was kind of glowing. Did anyone notice that? He kind of had a glow to him. Now, for the most part, Bosworth was a douche this week. But I really enjoyed the scenes with him actually spending time with his grandson. And, I mean, he built the crib. We didn't get to actually see it, but he's spending time with his son's wife and everything. So I thought it was just kind of interesting. We never get to really see him hang out, on this side. And he's back in Texas. He only has a little bit of time. Yes, I kind of think it was very douchey to leave Cameron behind in Texas and go back to California. That's very, very, very douchey. But yet, still, I mean, Bosworth is just... Still, I mean, you can't hate Bosworth. At the end of the day, you're like, God damn, he's such a badass. Now, it was great to see Donna and Gordon be romantic again. They deserve it, man. They've had their ups and downs over the past few episodes, but they finally got to reconnect. And it was great while, it lasted until Gordon started getting in the mood and everything and ruining it all. And while Gordon and Donna may be a great couple, where the hell are their kids? Now, another thing, why didn't we get to see more Bosworth and his son? Now, definitely there were some slow scenes this episode. The most slow for me was the last 5 minutes of the episode. I think it should have ended with Joe smiling at the end that he's not HIV positive or anything. All that, I think he should have been happy, and that's how it should have ended. But then it carried on, and Cameron and Donna argued, which was, it got slow there. It really just kind of like, okay, can you just end the episode? I think you had a good chunk of footage already. You can end it right here. And then it goes on to her being in the room, and then she has the ring and everything. But honestly, out of all the arcs, I enjoyed Joe and Gordon and Donna's more than Cameron's arc. Even I enjoyed Bosworth's arc more than what Cameron did this episode. Again, Cameron went to go visit her ex-boyfriend from season 2 in this episode, and it wasn't like, a big reveal or anything, or it wasn't, they just kind of were at a restaurant and it's like, oh yeah, just you from season 2. Not a big deal, you're just kind of there, I guess just a cameo appearance. It just wasn't a big scene, you would think, hey, it's the guy from season 2, but he's kind of just talking, hey, sorry I didn't get on a plane, I'm sorry I shameless season 1'd you. Overall, this episode was really good. I'm going to give Halt and Catch Fire Season 3, Episode 5, titled Yerba Buena, a solid B. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smack that like button. You can comment down below, tell me what you guys thought about the episode. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. You can share this review with your friends and hit that subscribe button for more awesome Halt and Catch Fire reviews. Thanks again. The road to 500 has begun. Let's make it happen. I think we're like 10 or 12 subscribers away from 400. So we're close, baby. We are close. Let's make it happen, okay? All right now. New shows I'm reviewing this week. American Horror Story, Season 6, Z Nation. Be ready. Thanks again. Till next time. Bye-bye.